Hello all and welcome to Fergi Time at fantasyfootballhub.co.uk with the deadline just hours away. I think I'm locked in. I'm not sure about you guys, but I'm pretty locked in. I've decided to just be zen and to just make a decision and kind of stick with it. And I'm pretty happy. It's not. I've gone for. I'll show my team in a minute, but I've gone for kind of the safer options, I think, with a bit of longer term thought in mind, I think. But I'm fairly happy, and yeah, we'll go through that in a sec. My name is Fergie, and for any new watchers, you are very, very welcome. If you haven't subscribed to us yet, please press the subscribe button in the bottom right hand corner of the screen and set the alert so you don't miss any of our daily content right here on this channel. Also, please press the like button if you enjoy our content. So just before we get into it, if you haven't already signed up to fantasyfootballhub.co.uk, there is currently a pre-season 25% discount link at the top of the description below. There's only, 3.5 hours left to get the 25% discount. If you haven't got already, you haven't got long. Members get unlimited access to all our tools, including Fantasy Premier League and Fantasy Football Opta-Stats, comparison tools, points predictions tools, Gameweek 1 team reveals, and the very best managers in the world, including the current FPL champion, Michael Kuhn. FPL Generals team reveal was published this afternoon. Big Man Bakar has been updated this afternoon. There's just so many so much amazing stuff on there. Masses of fantasy football content and basically everything you need to become a better fantasy football manager and dominate your mini leagues. Firstly, big congratulations to Ross Johnson who got the job. So for those of us who were on the stream yesterday, was it yesterday or the day before? He mentioned that he'd be concentrating more on his FPL team than concentrating on his interview, but he got the job. Many congratulations, Ross. Brilliant. So just a couple of things before we start. Firstly, thank you so much. I think it's the 11th or 12th consecutive day that we've gone live at 3 o'clock. I don't know about you guys, but I really enjoyed it. It's been lots of fun. Everyone's been really good sports. We've had a big crowd, every day, and it's been really good. I'm going to stay live today as long as my sanity will let me. So I'm going to try and stay live for as long as everyone wants me live. But I need your support through some likes. So if you could like the stream, what I'm going to do to try and get people to stay on and keep liking is I'm going to give away some prizes. So every time we hit 250 likes, I'm going to give away a Fantasy Football Hub mug to someone in the chat. So every time we hit 250 likes, so I will ask a question. The first one to answer wins the mug. So I will do that. And if we can get to, if we can hit a real milestone, we'll see. I'm hoping, this is going to be a popular stream this afternoon. If we can get to 1,000 likes, I will give away a premium Fantasy Football Hub membership for the whole year. So a bit of incentive there to keep on going there. A bit of other news, a little bit of other news. So I've enjoyed these so much, actually, that what I've decided to do from next week, and I can't promise I'll do it every day, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go live maybe 2, 3, 4 times a week in the week. Just go live, right? No massive agenda, but just do something like this, not kind of assessing teams, but maybe do a 15 or 20 minute chat with everyone who wants to chat, go through all the the big decisions, the big issues, the big everything, and just have a quick chat about FPL with everyone who fancies it. So I'm going to start doing that next week. So I'm hoping that you guys will appreciate that and join me when I come on. If anyone has any questions, dilemmas, A's or B's or anything else, post them in the chat and I will try to answer the best that I can. So I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to show my latest draft if I can straight away. Yes, I can. It worked. I'm good. I'm trying something different today, just to let you know. I'm going to try and do something off just off the Hub site to see if it works. But sure, I just want to firstly show you my draft and where I am, and just explain why I'm locked in. So I've got Sanchez in goals and Steele. I'm kind of happy with that. Trent, Shaw, and Tsimikas. I've gone for Rafinha in the end. I've gone for Greenwood. So I think Greenwood is probably, I think he's going to start a couple of games. I've got the press conference news to go through in a second. I've got Bruno, I've got Salah, I'm happy with. I've got Tony, Ings, and Antonio. Now I have gone for Soufal and Ayling on the bench, but hear me out a little bit on Ayling. Just in terms of, I've got Ayling and Rafinha in purposely. So I was chatting with the FPL champion, Michael Kuhn, video right here on this channel a couple of days ago. And he said the way he plays is he has players in mind moving ahead to try and stay ahead of the curve, right? And I think with Ayling and Rafinha just kind of in there from game week 5 onwards, I'm quite happy to have those in there to just, kind of sit there, happy to rotate them if needed, but it means game week 4, game week 5, I don't have to bring in any Leeds players. So that's the kind of thought behind that. And I've got Soufal. I'm tossing up a little bit whether to start Soufal or Rafinha, but I'll very likely start Rafinha. So that is my team there, which I'm quite happy with actually. And what I'm just going to show you now quickly, if it's gonna work, I'm going to show you this on the Fantasy Football Hub Rate My Team tool. So if you haven't had a go at this, absolutely free, go on to fantasyfootballhub.co.uk and it will rate it. So what it's telling me at the moment is my team is 92%. The actual team that I have picked here is 92%. But what you can, and it also says who your best captain is and ratings are bits and pieces. But what you can do is you can click sort captains and bench, and it will actually do it for you, and it will optimize your team. So if I press sort captains and bench, it actually pings my team up to 99%, and it's telling me to captain Ings in game week 3. Interesting. Obviously, this will change week on week, as the data evolves. But this is actually telling me that I should play Soufal over Rafinha, which is interesting. That's what it's telling me. So, obviously, I'm going to use my own judgment here, and I'm going to play Rafinha over Soufal. But I wouldn't be surprised if Soufal scored more than Rafinha. So yes, that's my team at the moment. Okay, let's go through some press conference news. Some really, really interesting press conference news today. Firstly, if you haven't heard, Romelu Lukaku is not going to play on the weekend. So it's been confirmed that he has to quarantine. Big news from the Arsenal match this evening. Absolutely, incredible news really, that both Aubameyang and Lacazette have been ill and they are not fit to play. So neither Aubameyang or Lacazette are going to play this evening. Everton game. Some surprising news, and this is interesting because I'm seeing on the chat that Gary is saying Richarlison is out, but according to Ben Dinnery, both Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison are both fit. That is what I'm hearing. We're hearing off Ben Dinnery, who is the injury guru. So according to this, Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison are fit, which does, ask the question. We were all really, really hot on Calvert-Lewin a few weeks ago, and because he had that, rumoured injury, a lot of people moved off him. If you look at the FPL winner Michael Kuhn's team, he's very hot on Calvert-Lewin. He was in there yesterday, and he's still in his team now as it stands. So I'm on Ings and Antonio and Tony. So I think I'm quite happy. But the bad news for Everton is that James Rodriguez and 4 of the players are isolating as well. So even though they've got Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison fit, Rodriguez and 4 others are isolating, which obviously weakens Everton's appeal there. On to Liverpool game, and the news there is that Virgil van Dijk and Joe Gomez are both available for Liverpool, which is interesting because you would guess the back 4 there would be Tsimikas, Van Dijk, either Gomez or Matip or Konate, you would guess, but it is tough, and then obviously Trent, but depending on on how they do it. I remember a couple of seasons ago on this very day, on the opening Friday, Liverpool won 4-1 and Norwich scored a goal. So interesting, but it's really, really hard to call. And again, interestingly, if you want to watch it, the FPL winner didn't fancy a Liverpool double up in defence because he just didn't think that the Liverpool defence was good enough for some clean sheets. So interesting views there. On to Aston Villa, and big news from Villa is that Buendia looks like he has made it and he's going to be fit. So he was in lots and lots of teams we were looking at a couple of weeks ago, and again he was taken out because of these rumours that he wasn't going to make it. So he's fit and he is available according to the manager. Leon Bailey is available, but he has been isolating, so he hasn't trained much. So it's very unlikely that Bailey will start, that we make him off the bench. And Ollie Watkins has had a bump on his knee, so there's going to be a late decision on Watkins. So if anyone has got Watkins, then that's a late call there. News from Wolves is that Raul Jimenez is fit and available. So, he was sensational a couple of years ago, and before his horrific injury. So Jimenez is fit for Wolves. And news from Aston Villa as well is that David Trezeguet and Sansom are out with injuries, and Douglas Luiz is resting after the Olympics. Bit of a potential soft underbelly there. We will see. But, Villa looking good to start. Man United, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has said that Jadon Sancho is going to be involved on the weekend. He said he's back, he's been in training, looks brilliant, right? And Sancho is going to be playing. Martial is fit and available. However, he has said Martial, he's probably a couple of weeks off being fully fit. But big news there, Sancho is fit and available. Now, whether he'll start or not is obviously another matter. I wouldn't imagine he'd get 90 minutes, right? But he could get 60 or 70, who could come on for 20 at the end. Interesting there. News from West Ham. Ogbonna is injured and will not be playing on the weekend. Newcastle in goals. Interesting one here. So both Dubravka and Darlow are not playing. So Freddie Woodman, 4 million defender in FPL, is going to be in goals for Newcastle. It remains to be seen, obviously, if he's going to be their kind of long-term keeper, but apparently Dubravka, I believe, one of the keepers, has had COVID and he's lost a stone and a half in weight, so he's not fit. For Spurs, and Ndombele not being considered for the team. He's a boy and a half, and Ndombele, he just seems to fall out with managers. Nothing wrong, with his kind of fitness or his talent. He just cannot seem to get on with the managers. Big news for Spurs is that Harry Kane trained today with the team for the first time. He had a negative test, and it's going to be a late decision on whether he starts. Very interesting one there on Kane. We'll have to see how that develops. If he is in Man City sort of crosshairs, it's going to be interesting to see if he plays against them. Just quickly on Palace, Milivojevic is out for personal reasons, so he's missing the match, and Kevin De Bruyne is progressive. Sorry, I'm trying to catch the chat about Woodman. He's 4 million, isn't he? Or is he 4.5? I'm sure he was 4 million. Anyway, Kevin De Bruyne is progressing, but he's not going to be back until the end of August, apparently. And lastly, on Chelsea, Ziyech is definitely out this week. Doesn't need surgery. Kante has got a small issue from the Super Cup. So that is it. Just a few questions to answer. Do you think Havertz starts? Please let me know. I think with Ziyech out, I'd say he's more likely to start than he was. So I would have to say yes for Ziyech. For Havertz. I think that Havertz will start. If Ziyech was fit, I wouldn't be sure. But Lukaku definitely isn't starting. Ziyech definitely isn't starting. I know that Havertz obviously played 120 minutes, but he's only young. What is he? 21, 22 years old. I think he'll play personally. I can't see the rest of them. They haven't got a game in midweek, so they don't have a game until the week after. Apology, Woodman is 4.5. I do apologise there. I thought he was 4 for some reason. Thank you everyone for correcting me on that. Benny asks, Soufal for Tony, or do you think Tony is the better option? Well, I've started Tony up front, right? So I've got Soufal on my bench. I don't think Soufal is a bad pick at all. I think he'd be fine. He is playing against Wilson and an attacking Newcastle team, which is why if this is why I just fancy Tony. I love his confidence. He was fantastic last season. At the start, when the game launched, everyone was on Tony. They all go nuts for him, and suddenly people have gone off him, and all he's done is score goals in pre-season. So I think he's going to be I think he's going to be aggressive. I think he's going to go for it. I think Brentford are going to give Arsenal a hell of a game. And if he scores, Tony's goal involvement for Brentford is over 50%. So if he score, he is more likely than not to be involved. DC, thoughts on Ferran Torres? I think he plays this week. I think the front three this week will be Mahrez, Ferran Torres, and Grealish. I think that will be the front three. So I would say if you're going for a 1 week punt, similar to someone like maybe Alonzo or an Arsenal forward now, maybe. I think all those are fine. Harvey says Fergie reminds me of Benteke. That's an interesting comparison. I've been compared to a lot of people, but never Christian Benteke. But thank you for that. Mahrez or Son? Good question. I am going for, out of the two, I go for Son, just because I think that Son will play every game and Mahrez won't. I will be rating teams. George, yes, I'm just answering a few questions in the chat. Actually, let's go and rate a team. So what I'm doing today, I haven't picked out teams. I'm because this is the end, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to go, actually, if I can, live onto the Twitter and scroll down, and I'm going to pick the teams out and just rate them kind of as I'm there. I'll try and get through as many as I possibly can. If you want to get your team rated, follow these two here, at FFH_HQ and at FFH Fergie. This tweet is here. So stick your team on there, and I will do that. So first, let's have a look at Joe Wilson's teams. This is Wilson win, 2 million in the bank. Sanchez in goals. Trent, Shaw and Simicast banging back three. Fernandez, Salah, Greenwood and Dallas. So this is basically exactly the same as my team, right? Apart from I've gone Rafinha over Dallas. It's exactly the same. So I think it's absolutely brilliant, Wilson win. He's got 2 million in the bank as well, which is interesting. Considering you haven't got much of a bench there. So, I'm assuming Wilson, I'm not saying this is a bad thing, actually, because I am an advocate, actually, of not having much cash on your bench. But I would say there that I would probably spend maybe a little bit just to get yourself a decent bench player. So maybe go up to I don't know why I've got 8 Norrie, because I don't think, oh no, he's 4 million, isn't he? Or 4.5, apologies. But I would, I guess someone like Aylin or someone like, Veltman or someone like that. But I appreciate you kept the money back, and it will give you a lot of flexibility in the future. It'd be interesting to see if you move Tony up to Calvert-Lewin, which would be the tempter there for me. Let's have some ratings on this team. I always like it because it's very similar to my team. If I was to rate my team, I would probably rate mine. I quite like mine, obviously. I don't have any Chelsea or Man City. I would probably rate it like a 9 or something, but I do have a lot of flexibility. I think this has got slightly less flexibility. It has into the money in the bank, but I think you're wasting a transfer, because I do think that you're going to want to get the points, the players off your bench at some stage. So I'm going to rate this 8.5. George rates it as a 7. Pontus asks, why not pick Pogba? Pogba doesn't tend to be much of an FPL asset. We don't know if he's going to play. We don't know if he's going to stay at Man United. Moore says 7.5, and Joe Lawrence, upgrade Dallas and bench. I think that's the right thing to do. I'm going to issue with Dallas per se, but I would say to rate the bench. Ratings 8, 7, 6, 8.5, 8. Nosboom, Chilwell starting. We don't think so. So Chelsea have got a friendly on Sunday, which apparently players like Chilwell and a couple of others who came back late from the Euros are going to play in. So it's highly likely that Alonzo is going to start for Chelsea on Saturday. So hopefully that's answered that. Elton or Simon, thanks for that. 4.5. So Wilson win. I'm not sure why you've gone for 8 Norrie at 4.5, unless you're just hoping that he's picking that spot. But I know he played a few games in pre-season, but the last couple he didn't. It was Mark Hall at left back. Ask Dravidan, what about Lukaku? Lukaku can't play, so he is isolating, so he can't play in game week 1. If you want to hold him on your bench, I think you're mad when there's better options, especially since next Chelsea's next 5 games after this week. So they've got Palace this weekend, which Lukaku can't play, and they've then got Arsenal, Liverpool, Villa, Tottenham, and Man City. Now, I'm not saying they can't win these games, but I think it's unlikely they're going to score kind of 4 or 5 goals in these games. Personally, that's my opinion. For those who haven't seen, so I noticed I'm up to 163 likes. If we can get up to 250 likes, I will ask an FPL related question, and I will give away one of these Fantasy Football Hub mugs if I can get up to 250 likes. And for every 250 out of that, I will give away another mug. And if we can get up to 1,000 likes, I will give away a premium Fantasy Football Hub membership for the year worth £36 after discount. Just so everyone is aware of that. Louis Aston asks, Fergie, how many points are you aiming for this week? The prediction tool, the Rate My Team prediction tool, suggests that I'm going to get 60.7 points. I don't tend to look at points, Louis. I don't think points matter. It's your points against the average, right? So all I'm looking for is to be above halfway. So last year I got off to an absolute stinker, and I played 37 weeks playing catch up, but I am not doing that again, right? So this is why I've gone personally quite reasonably safe in my team, because I'm just happy to, there's a saying, right? And it's true that if you can get a 1 million rank every game week, you will win FPL, because it's all about consistency, consistent, good scores. So we're up to the likes already. That was very, very quick. We're up to likes. So my first question, and the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to ask a question, and the first person on the stream to answer with the correct question, so it will always be a number. So I'm going to ask FPL related questions from last season. The first person in the stream to get it right wins the mug. So the first one is, for this mug, how many points did Meslier score in FPL last season? And the first person to put it in the chat will win the mug. So that is the first question there. How many points did Meslier score in FPL last season? I will keep an eye, and as soon as I see the right number, I will that person gets the mug. I've got a few of these to give away, so if you keep smashing the like button, I've got a few mugs to give away if you want to do it. Question around Gundogan. Yeah, I think Gundogan is a really good option. I've got no Sobchak 1, you have won 154 points he scored. So Sobchak 1, you win the mug. Many congratulations. Drop me a DM at FFH _ Fergie. 154 points was correct. Well done. Sobchak 1. Drop me a DM and I will sort you out. No problem at all. To get your team rated, go to at FFH _ HQ. Go to here, at FFH _ HQ. Follow them. Follow at FFH _ Fergie as well. Retweet this, like and retweet the tweet, and I will go in and I will rate your team. So we've rated Joe's. Next, we're going to look at Trevor Webb's, who sent in his 3 hours ago. Well done, Sobchak. The mug is yours. As soon as we get to 500 likes, I will give away another mug with another FPL related question. So let's have a look at this team. So Sanchez, 1 million in the bank. He's got Simicast, Alonzo and Shaw. So he's going for Simicast. He's going for it. In terms of Alonzo 1 week punt. Simicast likely a 3 week punt. He's got Sola, Mahrez, Rafinha and Fernandes. Can't argue with that midfield at all. I'm not that massively high on Mahrez, just because I think that he's not going to get 90 minutes for the 3 games. But he does actually say Mahrez to Son in game week 3, which is hard to argue with. In all fairness, even though Spurs do play Wolves in game week 2, Antonio, Tony Ings up front, Steele, Veltman, Brownhill and Ayling. So very nice team. Alonzo to Maguire game week 2. I like your plan and I understand your plan. the problem is I don't really like booking in transfers. Is the problem? This is the problem with this. You're saying Alonzo Maguire game week 2, Martin in game week 3. I like your thinking, I really, really do, but you're going to need some flexibility right here. You can't book in transfers until after the international break, which is what you've done here, is my view. However, nothing wrong with the plan, but I just think you need to remain a bit flexible. James Fricker. Hello there, James. 7 out of 10. Ash says 6 out of 10. FPL Trixie 7.8. Freddie Casey 6. George gives 6.5. DV asks, any thoughts on Grealish? I think that Grealish is a fantastic player. I think he will play on the weekend. Personally, I'm never massively convinced of him as an FPL asset. Is the problem, and I also thought that City looked very, very toothless last weekend against Leicester. Now I know that Spurs are not as good as Leicester right at the moment in terms of everything, in terms of players, in terms of system, in terms of intensity. Leicester are a fantastic team, right? However, I didn't think City looked dangerous personally. So that's the reason I've got Rafinha and Greenwood. Because I can move around pretty easily and get to Grealish easily if I want to. I wouldn't talk you out of him, but he's not for me at the moment. In terms of rating this team, Incy says 6, Matthew 7.5, Who's Dancock 7.8, 7.5 from Varron, 7.9 from Charlie. Jessica O'Loughlin says 8.5, Betting FC 8, solid 7. 7 from Kieran, no DCL, no Party, and no Trent. I've just noticed actually in this game, in this team is no Trent. Not a massive issue there. One thing just to say, what I remember on Simicast, if you are going for Simicast and Salah and Trent, you need to remember that you can't quickly get to a Liverpool player, and this is the risk I'm taking. So I'm knowingly doing this right in my team. So I have Trent, Simicast, and Salah. Now I know I can't get to Jota, but I'm reasonably happy in my mind that that I can't. So I'm going to rate this team. I think it's a good team. I think it's a good plan. It hasn't got Trent, but that's fine. I don't like planning transfers. It's got a good bench. I'm going to rate this a 9. I think it's a really, really nice team, and I love the Alonzo punt in game week 1. Zandres, we can't be sure Alonzo is going to start. It's just the kind of the rumours we've heard in the camp. Nosbroom asks, will Christensen start? I really, really don't know. That is a good question. I wouldn't be putting him in. And Mr. Cards, how do I send my team in? Drop at FFH_HQ a follow, and at FFH_Fergi, and I will keep going on this stream as long as people want me to. If we can get to 500 likes, I will give away another one of these fantastic Fantasy Football Hub mugs for absolutely free if you can answer my FPL question right. We're currently on 348. Let's get up to 500. Old school football, Mane or Jota? Well, Mane is nailed, right? And he's looked good in pre-season. He's gonna start every game, right? Especially at the start of the season while there's no rotation requirements. So I've got to say Mane. Obviously, Jota is, what is he, 4.5 cheaper, right? So it depends what you're doing with the other 4.5 million. Rohan and Sam asked the same question. This is a big question. It's a tough one. Ings or DCL? So Everton have got Southampton, Leeds, Brighton, Burnley, Villa, Norwich. 6 fantastic fixtures. Villa and Ings, Watford, Newcastle, Brentford. So their first 3 are absolutely, fantastic, right? I'm going with Ings over DCL just because I just think Villa currently are a better team than Everton. Calvert-Lewin, I don't think has played, much in pre-season. Definitely hasn't played much in the last week because he's been injured. Everton, just haven't looked very good. There's also a COVID outbreak at Everton. Apparently, 5 of their players, including James Rodriguez, are isolating. So we don't know who the 5 are. I don't believe they're any kind of first team superstars, Rodriguez aside. But just having that outbreak, I'm not massively keen. I prefer Ings personally. Freddie Abel asks Creswell or Soufal. So I've gone for Soufal just for the 0.5 saving. I love Creswell. If you look at the difference in points last season, I think it was only about 22 points. And Soufal didn't start the season, I don't think. I think he played almost every game after that, but I don't believe he started the season. So I like Soufal for the 500,000 saving. I think Soufal is a lot more dangerous in open play. He nearly scored a couple of times last season as well. Whereas obviously Creswell with his free kicks and corners is a great option, especially when you have people like Soucek and Antonio to aim at, right? So I think both of them are really good options. I'm just going for the 500,000 personally. Evan Edison says, why not Kane? Indeed, why not Kane? So he hasn't been in training. He trained for the first time today. He's had a negative COVID test, so he is fine for the match tomorrow. It's just all in his fitness because he hasn't been training with the team. All that aside, there's the whole political situation and whether he's going to Man City or not. That is massive, right? So with that, I'm keeping away from Kane. But if he goes to Man City, he is absolutely nailed in my team. He'd probably be captain nearly every week personally. Siamil asks about what you think on Ismaila Sarr. Fantastic player, 6 million, really good punt. I think he comes out top actually on the Hub's points prediction tool for midfielders in that category. I'll just have a look. I think the site's been a bit slow this afternoon due to all the traffic. We'll just have a look. If anyone hasn't seen this is our points prediction tool. We will filter on midfielders. I think under 7 million for the first 4 game weeks. It's actually Buendia comes out top of our points prediction tool for the first 4 game weeks for all midfielders under 7 million, then Barnes, and then Sarr, then Bailey. So this is what our points prediction tool says. Let's just compare Ings and Calvert-Lewin from last season, actually, because this will be interesting. So let's just have a look in our members comparison tool, and we will do Ings. We'll do Calvert-Lewin first. Dominic Calvert-Lewin against Danny Ings. And let's have a look what this tells us. You can choose your range. So let's do the whole season at first. So the whole of last season. Let's compare these two players. And if you look, Calvert-Lewin actually, in all stats, actually, in terms of points, goals, assists, expected points. This is per game, XG. In every, basically everything. Calvert-Lewin over the whole of last season was by far the better pick last season. Let's just have a look for the final quarter of the season, which is what we like to kind of go by, right? So we'll go for the final 9 game weeks of the season, and we'll see what happened towards the end of the season and Calvert-Lewin even then, right? So if you're looking to compare Calvert-Lewin and Ings in terms of, you have to remember he was playing for the Saints, but Calvert-Lewin definitely looked more dangerous over the whole season and at the end of the season. So if anyone wants to use these tools, this is what Fantasy Football Hub is all about, right? They are all here for your disposal. 25% off link below. The 25% off is only applicable for another 2 hours, less than 2 hours now. No, 3 hours, apologies, 3 hours until the deadline at 6:30. Pickford or Fabianski, Gary asks. Let's just have a quick look before we go back and rate more teams. We'll just have a quick look at Pickford against Fabianski. So let's rate them over the whole season. So over the whole season, Pickford and Fabianski, who was better last year? Pickford actually by quite the lot. Apparently so slow. If I expand it, you get a lot more. Actually, here we go. So they're actually very, very similar indeed. Very similar in terms of most aspects. So Pickford had a slightly more clean sheets, while Fabianski is better for bonus. So that's just a couple of bits and pieces there. That's using the comparison tool on fantasyfootballhub.co.uk. Niraj Patel says Balogun thoughts. So I think Balogun. So for those who don't know, Balogun Looks a really, really good prospect for Arsenal, if that's what you're on about, because I think there are a couple of Ballagans. I think he's going to be a fantastic player. He may even have a game this evening. Obviously, with Aubameyang lacks it out, but I wouldn't be putting him in my FPL team personally. We're up to 424 likes, guys. As soon as I get up to 500, I will give away another Fantasy Football Hub mug. Just get me up to 500 likes, and I'll give away another one of these mugs with an FPL-related question. Jamie Jordan asks, Son or Mahrez? I've answered this one. I just think Son. I think he's more nailed. He's going to play 90, I would guess. I think he played 90 for the majority of last season, so I'm going to say Son. Digne or Creswell? Smartwell asks, I would go for Creswell. I prefer Creswell. I think he's, over the season. Luca Dean may score a few points than than Creswell at the start of the season, but you don't want to be using transfers early again, right? So that's why I would be tempted by him. Let's have a look at another draft, and this is Neil at We Love FPL. I believe Neil may be the one with a YouTube channel. So if you do. If you do love FPL, go and follow at We Love FPL. Sanchez, Trent, Shaw, and Ben White. Fantastic midfield. Barnes, Greenwood, Salah captain, Gundogan and Fernandes. Can't argue with any of them. They are all rock solid picks there. Tony and Antonio up front. Veltman, and then weakish bench. I'm not that keen on White. I don't really get the love for White personally. Liam Stewart, I will be rating your team later if you can hang on. Apology, it looks like this is going to be a really, really long stream. I'm going to go through as many teams as I possibly can. Right, I'm just going to rate this team. I'm not a fan of White. I would go for Alien personally. Other than that, absolutely nothing wrong with this team whatsoever. I really, really like it. Let's have some ratings in the chat. We're nearly up to 500 likes. A lot of people have thoughts on Benrahma. I think Benrahma could have a fantastic season, and I think he's got the start in terms of Newcastle, Leicester, Crystal Palace, and Southampton to do it. Now, this is my last dilemma, which I'm sticking with Rafinha at the moment because I prefer Rafinha probably as a long-term pick, right? But Benrahma looks good. I got no issues with Benrahma whatsoever. I think he'll be a fantastic pick. So if you want to go with him, I would go with him. I think he's got that. I think he's got a bit of an X factor about him. They've got really good fixtures. He could even be on penalties. Because I think I saw something where he grabbed the ball. Noble grabbed it often because he was on the pitch, but Noble will likely not start. Ratings are coming in 7s, 9s, 7.5, 8, 6.9, 7.5, 7. Gundogan may be risky. Aguero says 9 out of 10. Take White out. Yeah, I agree with that. I really like this team. I've no arguments with this team at all. It's got a lovely balance. It's got all the key players. I'm going to rate this team a solid 9.17 out of 10. Really good there, Neil. Go and follow at Love FPL. Go and look at their YouTube channel as well. Peter Strat asks Soufal or Mbuemo. Got to be Soufal, just proven, and that's it, right? I think it looks like Mbuemo may, apology if I'm pronouncing his name wrong, right? But it looks like he may start even up front with Ivan Toney this evening, and I'm sure he'll be a good pick. Just a little bit unproven. Soufal, rock solid, 9 assists, loads of clean sheets. I think Soufal over the course of the season would be good. Stand first, Target or Soufal? I go for Soufal. I do like Target though. Nothing wrong with Target at all. And Tom Zaraski saying someone's using his name. I don't know if your bearded uncle's in the chat there, Tom. If he is, but welcome, Tom Zaraski, Barry Island, massive welcome, Tom. Benrahma or Rafinha, Rick? I've gone Rafinha because I'm trying to think long term. So there's so many short term options, but players I'm getting asked about now. Around Rafinha, Soufal, and players like that. I'm playing a longer term game, right? So my team may not smash game week 1, 2, 3, 4, right? But when everyone is going through their transfers like wildfire, hopping about, I'm going to maintain a solid core, and Rafinha and Soufal are key to that core, which is why I'm going with them. Jordan asks, do you think Buendia will start? I think he might. Especially if Watkins doesn't. Okay, alert. We have got to 500 likes. Thank you so much, everyone, for liking it. So I have another FPL question. And whoever gets this right in the chat will win this brilliant Fantasy Football Hub mug. And they are absolutely fantastic. I've had this over a year now, and there's not a mark on it. It's absolutely brilliant. I drink about 5 cups of coffee out of it every single day. So my next FPL question to win the mug is how many FPL points did Timo Werner score last season? The first person to put the answer in the chat wins the mug, and then we'll go for another one. The first person in the chat, and then we will go for another one. Okay, just so everyone is aware, I'm going to stay live today as long as my sanity will let me. Like I mentioned, to get your support, I'm gonna want likes. Right, we're doing giveaways. 1 to 8, I think that's right, Bain. Bain, I think you might be right there. Let me just check. Bain's got it right. 128. Congratulations, Bain. That was very, very sharp. Send me a DM at FFH_Fergi, and I will get you Fantasy Football Hub mug on your way. We're up to 563. If we can get up to 750 likes, I will give away another mug. And you know what? If I can get up to 1,000 likes, I will give away a premium Fantasy Football Hub membership for the whole year. If we can get up to 1,000 likes on the stream. So really, really appreciate everyone's support on all this. Liam Smith, I know you're in the chat, Liam. I know you're in the chat. Let's have a look at your team. Sanchez in goals, Shaw, Simicas, Trent and Veltman. No problems there at all. Really good looking team. Salah, Greenwood, Fernandes and Song. Boom. What a midfield. Absolutely rock solid midfield there. Antonio up front with Aylin, Gilmore and Preaker on the bench. That is a lovely team. Absolutely lovely team. If I had to have any criticism whatsoever, is you can't get from Antonio up to 8 million without making a couple of transfers. Hence the Son. But other than that, absolutely no problem with that team whatsoever. Let's see your ratings for this team. I think it's absolutely fantastic team. I really, really do. I am going to give it. Wow, I'm going to give it a 9.3. Liam, who I know is in the chat, 9.3. Liam. I cannot fault you in the slightest. You've got everything covered. The only reason it's not higher is because you haven't got that 0.5 up front. Delicious Lemons, Rafinha in the Brazil squad, the international break. Yes, but apparently he is fit. What is everyone adding numbers for FPL Heaney? Because every time we get to 250 more likes, I've been giving away some mugs and I ask an FPL question. Let me just give a couple of messages for everyone who hasn't been here from the start. So I'm going to stay live as long as my sanity will let me, but I need your support. I need you to like the stream. For every 250 likes I get, I give away a mug, and for every 1,000 likes I get, I'm going to give away a Fantasy Football Hub premium membership. So keep on liking away. Another thing, I've been doing these streams now for the last, I think it's 11 or 12 days. I've really, really enjoyed them. The interaction, the support, everything has been absolutely fantastic. So what I've decided is, as of next week, I am going to do some more live streams. Now, I'm not going to commit to doing them every day, but what I'm going to do is when I have the spare time, I will just come online for half an hour and just chat FPL, right? So we'll just have a look, kind of what happened in the previous week, what are the dilemmas, what are your transfer decisions, who's the best captain, and we'll just have a bit of a chat, and a bit of fun in the chat. So I'm going to do that from next week, and it's thanks to you guys, all your support, all your interaction. It's just really, really, really good fun. I really enjoyed it, so I'm going to carry on with that. If you want me to have a chance of getting to look at your team, and to get your team rated on screen now, follow at FFH_HQ. Drop me a follow at FFH_Fergi. Like and retweet the tweet that is there, and post your team on the tweet, and I will see if I can get to it. Let's just answer a few questions in the chat. Gary Beniquez, Harrison or Benrahma? I prefer Benrahma early doors, and I prefer Rafinha longer term. So out of the two, I would say Benrahma. Thanks, Ross Johnson. 2K watching. I believe that is our record as well. So thank you so much. That was our live record. Thank you so much for all your support and interaction. Keep the questions coming, and I will keep answering. I will stay online. I will stay live as long as there are people asking me questions, wanting me to stay live. So I will keep on doing that. Tom F asks, Willock an option? Lots of points at the end of last year. Yeah, I think so. The only thing with Willock, the only problem is he plays for Newcastle. That's my only. He's a fantastic player. He really is. He's clearly really enjoyed his time there as well. The only problem is Newcastle don't tend to score a lot of goals, and I just think that there are other options personally. At the price point. Benrahma, Harrison, Sarr, I think we'll all score better than him. Let's just have a quick look actually on predictions for 6 million midfielders. So if you haven't seen this is fantasyfootballhub.co.uk. This is what you get for the membership, right? And what we'll look at up to 6 million midfielders. Let's have a look who comes out top. Sarr, Soucek, Benrahma, Gross, and Buemo, and then Smith Rowe, then Gray, then Townsend, then Fornals, then El Ghazi. So nothing much in there at the moment. It doesn't really fancy Harrison for the first 1 to 4 games, probably because of the fixtures. However, let's have a look if we move it on a little bit. If we go up to game week 8 and maybe change from game week 5 to game week 8, let's have a look what it spits out then. Then Harrison, as you can see, is actually top of the prediction tool there. So this is the point prediction tool, fantasyfootballhub.co.uk, 25% discount. This is just one of many tools, right, which we have got here. If you want me to compare a couple of players, check them in. For those who haven't seen it, for those who haven't seen our team reveals, right, my goodness, if you want to know which is the best team, right, so on fantasyfootballhub.co.uk, if you go on there right now, we have got the FPL Winners, Michael Kuhn, Game Week 1 team on there right now for Fantasy Football Hub members. We have got Big Man Bakar's final Game Week 1 team reveal on fantasyfootballhub.co.uk right now. FPL Matthew, arguably the best FPL manager of all time. His team is there now. Not only that, Rich Clark, who has in 15 seasons has never finished outside the top 35k. His team reveal is on here now. You think that's good? FPL General on Twitter, his team reveal is on there now. FPL Salah Abdul, 4 top 1k finishes. All this is on fantasyfootballhub.co.uk. It costs £18 a year with the discount code. If you join up now, you can read all these. You can read them all now, as well as use all the tools above, which I'm showing. Let's just have a quick look at the comparison tool. So Smartless asks, obviously we can't do Tony. Sanchez or Martinez? That's a good question. So let's just have a quick look. Let's compare Sanchez against Martinez for the period that Sanchez played last season. William Martinez. So let's have a look for the final 9 game weeks. So the final quarter of last season. Let's compare these two keepers. And as you can see, it was Sanchez that came out on top in terms of expected clean sheets. And this is why I'm going for Sanchez over Martinez, right? If you look at those expected clean sheets, so Martinez is better for bonus, obviously, because Martinez makes more saves, right? And he absolutely does. But this is the final quarter, the final quarter of the season per start. If you look, Brighton's expected clean sheets were higher, actual clean sheets were higher, points and expected points were higher. And this is why I'm going for Sanchez. So Martinez makes more saves. His baseline BAPS is more because he makes more saves. And his bonus his bonus points as well. But look at that for Sanchez when you get the 4.5 saving. And this is why I've gone for Sanchez. So fantasyfootballhub.co.uk, you can look at any player. You can look at a couple of players if you want. It is all here. If we just compare it, for a few more game weeks, I can't remember when Sanchez started playing, but let's just have a look over a few more game weeks. But even that, right? So this is per start, but Martinez, massive on bonus. Who we all remember the 10 pointers and all that, right? Martinez is there, but it's this here which interests me. It's the clean sheet and expected clean sheets, which is why I'm high on him, right? Let's have a look at a quick questions in the chat. Madison or Barnes? It's got to be Barnes. FPL Fan Show. Afternoon, buddy. Don't know if that's Prince or Nacho, but hi there. How you doing? I hope you're well. Let's just answer a few questions. So I just saw Madison or Barnes from Seamanal. It's got to be Barnes for me. Not really a massive FPL fan of Madison. I think, I don't know, this is maybe a personal thing, right? But I think Madison a couple of years ago, I thought had the world at his feet. I think he's absolutely brilliant. However, I think, he's let everything personally, and I may be completely wrong, get to his head a little bit, right? He's maybe had his head turned and stuff. Whereas Harvey Barnes for me is probably the one, he's one of the most exciting young talents in Europe at the moment for me, Harvey Barnes. He's not on my FPL team because he's 7 million and I've gone for Rafinha, but there we go. Calvert-Lewin or Antonio? What a question. I mean, toss it up, right? It's so hard. Calvert-Lewin or Antonio. Hi there, Prince. It's great to have you on. Is Buendia in? Buendia is fit. So let me just give everyone a couple of updates, actually. A few team news updates for those. I've been on nearly an hour now. Keep on going with the likes. If we can get up to 750 likes, I will give away another Fantasy Football Hub mug. I've given away 2 already. We'll ask an FPL question and give away one of these brilliant mugs. We're on 729, just another 21 likes. And we'll get some more. Let me give you some team news. So Romelu Lukaku has to quarantine. He will not play on the weekend. Lukaku, do not put him in your FPL team if you think he's going to start. If you want him to put on your bench for Game Week 2, fine. But he's not starting this weekend. Big news that I've seen. Aubameyang and Lacazette not fit for Arsenal this evening, which is massive. I mean, I had Tony anyway, right? But I'm even more excited because Aubameyang and Lacazette, in terms of their in terms of their kind of experience and hold and play, that Arsenal team is going to be very, very young. I mean, it's young anyway, right? But it's going to be even younger. So I'm happy to have Tony in my team. Everton news, massive news. Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison apparently are fit. Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison are fit for Everton, according to Ben Dinnery on Twitter. But James Rodriguez is isolating with 4 other people. For Everton, which may kind of erode Everton's chances there. So even though Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison are fit, they won't have much behind them in terms of their team. Big Liverpool news. Van Dijk and Gomez are available for Liverpool, which is big for them in terms of their defensive prospects. Aston Villa, Emi Buendia looks to have made it fit. According again to Ben Dinnery on Twitter, according to the press conferences from Dean Smith, Buendia is available to start. Leon Bailey hasn't trained much as he's been isolating, but he is available, and there will be a late decision on Ollie Watkins. Quick question off Shradrak. White or Simicast? I'm all over Simicast, buddy. I just think 4 million, he's an absolute gift. I think, he's the kind... I just think, how often do we get it, right? So 4 million, full back as well. It's not even like he's a centre-back, right? He's a full back, attacking player. He gets forward. He got the assist last week for Firmino in the friendly. Yeah, I think. I wonder if Nino's on Tom's account. Nino, you absolute swine! I bet it's you, innit? I lost myself then. Opinion on Timo Werner for Game Week 1. I think he's going to start for Game Week 1. I think he's a really good 1 week punt. However, I probably wouldn't have him for Game Week 2. As I mentioned earlier, Chelsea's fixtures, Arsenal, Liverpool, Villa, Spurs, Man City, to that are not nice. He may not even start all the games right now that Lukaku's there. They've got, Havertz, Pulisic, Mount. They've got all these players who can play around him. I think their front 3, I think their starting front 3 would probably be Lukaku up front with Werner and Havertz either side. But I think Werner for for 1 week is probably a good pick, but after that, wouldn't be that wouldn't be that bothered. Marcus Alonso would be my 1 week punt if you could go for Alonso personally. He's absolute gold. I thought he was all over the place on Wednesday as well. He's such an attacking player. On Anstead asks Benrahma or Buendia. Wow, what a question. That's a tough one. If you were to put a gun to my head, I would probably go with Benrahma because I think he got an outside chance being on penalties. He's 500,000 less than Buendia, but I still think Buendia is a fantastic option. And Freddie Layden, Aubameyang, Laxett, and Nketiah are all out. Will Balogun start? I think Martinelli. I'm not sure if he started up front before, but if Balogun, it'd be really good to have a look at him because I've heard really good things about him. I think he looks absolutely superb. Calvert-Lewin or Ings, complete 50-50. I'm going for Ings just because I think that Villa have got better attackers as a unit, and Ings is such an elite finisher. He may be on pens as well, whereas Calvert-Lewis isn't. Reza and Riak ask about Greenwood or Jota. So I've gone for Greenwood because I'm just a little bit concerned about Jota's minutes, right? So Firmino played 60 minutes in midweek. He scored a couple of goals. And this is why I think that I'm going for Greenwood. So I think that Greenwood will likely start at least 2 of the 3, if not all 3 of the games before the international break. Jota may or may not, right? And I don't like having players in my team personally who may start or not. I like to have players in my team who I know reasonably are going to start. Naki Shet says Mane or Bruno. I think Mane is a fantastic pick. His ownership yesterday was still less than 5% owned, but this is the problem: is Bruno's is 50% owned. If you go for Mane over Bruno, and Mane, so this is how I look at it with ownership, right? This isn't popular. This is how I look at it, right? You only win in 1 of 3 scenarios, right? And that is if Mane bangs and Bruno doesn't, right? You win, and you'll do well. If Bruno doesn't bang, it doesn't matter, and Mane doesn't bang, it doesn't matter. If Bruno bangs and Mane doesn't, you're in desperate trouble. So this is why at the start of the season, I prefer to play it safe. But I do think you need either Mane or Bruno because you're going to need the money in the next week or two to hop onto Harry Kane or someone along those lines. Sean next, isn't Greenwood a risk against Cavani? Yeah, he probably is. Though not in game week 1 because I believe Cavani isn't playing in game week 1. So that's the thing. And the week after, Martial probably isn't fit. Sancho is 100 isn't 100% fit, even though whereas Greenwood is absolutely blob on the money. He's fit as a fiddle. He was the only player last season when Man United had a triple game week that played in all 3 games, and this is why I really, really like him. We've got to over 750 likes, and because of that, I'm going to give away another Fantasy Football Hub mug. So I've given away 2 already. Let's go for the 3rd one. Matthew Price thinks Simicast won't start. It'll be Kanate. I'm not convinced, but if he does, I got a good bench, so I don't really mind. So the 3rd question to win one of these fantastic mugs. The 3rd question is: how many FPL points did Riyad Mahrez score last season? And the first person to put the correct answer in the chat will win this mug. Ibrahim asks, got Trossard, Benrahma and Barnes in midfield. Good punt. I like Benrahma and Barnes. I'm not a massive fan of Trossard because I think there's better options, but I like the other 2 personally. Soucek or Dallas, Smartless. Wow, they're 2 of the most boring moves you can ask for, right? Soucek or Dallas. I would have to go for Dallas just because he's a bit more attacking. Ross Johnson has got it right. The guy with the new job. Absolutely well done. There was one answer before you, but he got it wrong. And the correct answer is 145 points. So many congratulations to the chap with the new job, Ross Johnson. Drop me a DM, buddy, and you have not only got a new job, but you have won yourself a Fantasy Football Hub mug. If we can get up to 1,000 likes, I am going to give away a premium Fantasy Football Hub membership, which is worth, after discounts, about £36 over the year. If we can just get up to 1,000 likes. Thank you so much for everyone who's joining in the stream. Really, really appreciate your support. To have a chance to get your team featured and rated, I will have a look at a few more teams now. Follow at FFH _ HQ. Follow these guys up here at FFH _ HQ. Drop me a follow at FFH _ Fergi. There is a tweet. Ask you to put your teams in. Do that, and we may get round to your team. So we've reviewed all these so far. Ross Johnson, listen now, bud. You're having a laugh, right? So you've got a new job. You just won a mug, and now you want me to rate your team. Let's give it a really, really quick look for Ross. If I get on the right screen. Let's have a really quick look for Ross. It's not central Ross. I can't. Quick look, but banging team. I'm not keen on White. Alonzo took Untitled Game Week 2, then Wildcard Game Weeks 3 to 5. Can't argue Ross. 9 out of 10. Rock solid, buddy. This is Simon Allen's team at Arbyski. If you want to send your team in for a chance for it to get reviewed, follow at FFH _ HQ. Follow at FFH _ Fergi. Drop your team in the tweet, which is on at FFH _ HQ. Drop it in there for a chance to have a look. Guaita in goals. So I haven't seen much of Guaita at all. I don't know why the vice captain's on him. I mean, you know, that's a bit of a strange one. He does make a lot of saves. I think he is a good keeper as well. So I've got no real argument with Guaita. But I'm not sure why you would go for him unless you just think that Palace are going to go on a good run of clean sheets. They do have Chelsea, West Ham, Spurs and Liverpool in their first 5. So a bit of a no-no for me there. Shaw, Diaz and Simicast at the back with Livramento. I don't know if Livramento is going to start, but I love the other 3. Benrahma, Salah, Bruno, Greenwood. No arguments whatsoever. Armstrong, I don't believe, is going to start this evening. On this weekend, Armstrong. I heard he wasn't going to start, so you may just want to check that. Go on to fantasyfootballhub.co.uk and go and have a quick look on our preseason guide on our team news section there. Danny Ings at front. Got Lukaku in already. This is the thing. He's thinking ahead. He's got Lukaku in already. He's got Amati and Gilmore. But yeah, nice team. Not sure on Guaita at all, right? And you've got 3 4 million defenders, which I am not a fan of. FootyTube rates this at 2 out of 10. Can you please say hi to me? It's my birthday. My name is Karim. Happy birthday, Karim. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day, and I hope your FPL team smashes it in game week 1. Nikan, I will see if I can get to your team now in a second to see if I can rate it now. I'm going to rate this team 7.74 just because I don't like the 3 4 million defenders, and I'm not sure why you've got Guaita. I think that is a bit of a strange move there, personally. Let's just have a quick look at the predictions tool on fantasyfootballhub.co.uk. If you want to become a member, top link in the description below. You have access to all this. So these are the ratings for game week 1 only, who we think will score the highest points in game week 1 according to our ratings tool. So Mo Salah, unsurprisingly, top, bang on top. Mo Salah, Fernandes, Mane, Alonso's there. Look, the algorithm fancies Alonso to have a really, really good game week 1, and then Vardy is there as well, as is Danny Ings. Jadon Sancho is in there if he starts. Trent Alexander-Arnold, Jota is in there as well, and Havertz. So these are the top 10 top scoring players in the predictions tool. If you want to have a look, who is going to score, you know, who our algorithm predicts who is going to score the most points, the most FPL points between game week 1 to 4, you can do that, and it comes out Bruno Fernandes, then Salah, then Son. Interestingly, so for those who are considering Son our algorithm predicts that he's going to score the third highest amount of FPL points over the first 4 game weeks of the season. Mane again. Mane's there, look. He's such a hard one. Mahrez is in. So all the ones who are saying Son against Mahrez, there's nothing in it, but our algorithm has Son slightly ahead. The algorithm also fancies Sancho. If Sancho's fit, Sancho could be a bit of a diamond. Alexander-Arnold, Ings, and Antonio. Vardy is there again. I think you're right, Adam Nuno. Sancho may not start, so this is obviously based on the fact that if they do start. Let's just have a quick look from game week 1 to game week 8. So for those who like to plan a little bit further along the line, for game weeks 1 to 8, Salah, Bruno, Mane, Son, and Mahrez are the top 5 players. In terms of that, if you want access to the tool for yourself, fantasyfootballhub.co.uk/join, £18 for the whole season, and what you get is absolutely ridiculous. You also get our fixture ticker. So I don't know if anyone's seen our fixture ticker. It's absolutely fantastic. So this automatically defaults, in terms of ease for the first 6 games of the season. Brighton come out top. You can really quickly, if you want to go 1 to 12, right? 1 to 12 automatically says Wolves got the best fixtures for 1 to 12, then Newcastle, and then Leeds. You can go short term, right? So if we're just looking from now until the international break, Aston Villa, it also gives you the best attack and defense as well there. And overall, absolutely fantastic tool. I use this every single day. So that is at the moment. Let's answer a few questions in the chat. Thiago, I'm not sure why people are saying Thiago. He's not an attacking midfielder. I don't massively understand why you would go for Thiago when there's so many other great options. Personally, Tom T asks Buendia or Benrahma if money was no option. Isaac, this is a really tough one because neither of them, we haven't really got all that all that kind of data behind them in terms of they both come in. Buendia has been in the Premiership, but he's up and coming. Same as Benrahma, didn't have a good first season, has had a spanking pre-season. I would go for Benrahma personally, because the only reason is because West Ham have slightly better longer term fixtures than Villa. So Villa's first 3 are beautiful in terms of Watford, Newcastle, and Brentford, but then their next 4 they got Chelsea, Everton, Man United, and Spurs. So Villa's first 3, while they're spanking, their next 3 are not that good. Official asks El Ghazi or Benrahma. I would think I would go for Benrahma. Michael Hardin, my team reveal is up to date on the site, so my team is there. So I've taken out a couple of the Spurs guys at the back. I think I've put in Sanchez and Wan-Bissaka in that team. If you want to have a look at all my teams, so for those who don't know, I am the National Dream Team champion, and my team reveal for that particular format is on fantasyfootballhub.co.uk, and the team reveal is the same as everyone else's. Okay, let's have a look at another team, and this is Purple. So Purple has been on all week, so it's absolutely great to have you, Purple. Jacob 20189. Firstly, let's just answer a couple of questions. Thoughts on Harvey Barnes? Fantastic player, great option. I've got no issue. The only thing yesterday is the manager said that he wasn't like 100% fit, right? That's the only thing I would say. However, he did play 70 or 80 minutes last week. I've got no doubt he'll start. I've got no doubt it'll be a fantastic pick. But I would prefer longer minutes, because I was wondering between Rafinha and Barnes, just as an example, or even Tony and Barnes, and that's why I've landed on Tony, because I think Tony will play the 90, obviously, unless he gets injured. Riza says Bruno or Havertz. It's got to be Bruno. It's got to be Bruno. Absolutely. Chelsea, he's fantastic. He's on penalties and they have great fixtures. Havertz may not even start. They have 1 good game and then 5 bad ones. How I play the game, just so everyone knows, right? Don't come back at me and saying that, well, so-and-so scored more than so-and-so. I play the long game, right? So if you want to go for 1 week punts every week, go for it. But it's unsustainable, right? I play the game where I think of the longer term all the time. There's no point trying to smash every single week. It doesn't work. That is not how to play FPL. It doesn't matter who tells you that. That is not the way to play, right? You've got to play the long game. Shahid asks, Havertz or Greenwood? I'm personally going for Greenwood, Shahid, just because I like the first 3 fixtures, and I can maybe move off Greenwood then after 3. Fauzan says, I can't access my FPL app. Any ideas? I wouldn't be surprised if the traffic was a bit crazy. I've got to be honest. I'm surprised the hub is still up after all the traffic we've had that today. It's been absolutely incredible. If you haven't joined fantasyfootballhub.co.uk, what are you doing? 25% off, only 2 hours and 20 left for 25% off. It's absolutely incredible. I'm going to show you a few more bits and pieces in a little bit on that. Just a bit more in terms of team news. So Raul Jimenez is fit for Wolves. He is fit. Douglas Luiz is going to be rested for Aston Villa because of the Olympics, and Trezeguet and Sansom have still got injuries. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer says Jadon Sancho will be involved. So hasn't said he'll start, but he will be involved on the weekend. And Martial apparently is ready, even though Martial has said himself that he still thinks he's a couple of weeks away from full fitness. And this is why I'm going for Greenwood, because I think that Greenwood will probably is one of the favourites to play 90 minutes, just because he's fit as a fiddle and all the other ones have got a few injuries. Walter asks, thoughts on Maupay and Delhi? So Brighton have got great fixtures. I'm not sure if Maupay is still on penalties, because I know he missed a couple last year, didn't he? Dele Alli, for me, could be an under-the-radar pick. So he's been superb in pre-season. He's captained the team in pre-season as well. So, I have no issues with Ali at all as a pick. There probably are, other better options, right? In terms of that 6.5 range. But I've got no arguments there in terms of that. You are right that the clock is stuffed. How long have we got until the deadline? We've got 2 hours and 2 hours and 17 minutes. So I'm just going to change this clock to 2 hours and 17 minutes, and I'm going to start that clock, and then hopefully when we go back onto the other screen, it should be back and it should be right. Pepe or Greenwood, asks Blehy. I'm going for Greenwood at first. Pepe, I think Pepe is going to have a good season. It's just Arsenal's fixtures in game week 2 and game week 3, right, are Chelsea and Man City. Game week 4 onwards, I really like him. May do well this evening against Brentford as well. So like I say, with all the advice I gave, if you want him for 1 week punts, great, right? Do it. But I don't play the game that way. I play the game kind of long term. Bit of other team news. Ogbonna is injured for West Ham, and Woodman is going to play in goal for Newcastle because both Davrabka and Darlow are both out, either injured or I can't remember. It's either Darlow or Davrabka has had COVID and have lost 1.5 stone in weight. There's going to be a late decision on Harry Kane, who trained for the first time today with Spurs, first time in months. He's had a negative COVID test, and there's going to be a late call on whether he starts, and that is going to be very, very, very interesting. Are you locked into your FPL teams? Are you locked in? Let me know. Are you happy? Keza asks, Son or Greenwood? I think I go for Son for longer term, but I've gone for Greenwood in a shorter term because I can't really afford Son Son and everyone else I want to have. Good question on Diaz or Stones from GHX14. This will be an interesting one actually. Just going to go onto the Hubs comparison tool and let's have a look. Let's compare Stones and Diaz. This is a good question actually, because this is one I thought about because obviously John Stones has signed a new contract. Let's have a look at the whole season. This is per appearance now. This is per appearance. Let's compare them. Again, detailed. So in terms of defensively, it is actually John Stones who comes out as the better option over the whole season in basically every aspect. They're very, very similar. Obviously, this is just for FPL, right? But Stones per appearance scored more points, had more expected points, more clean sheets when he played, more expected clean sheets, more bonus, more baseline bonus, more attacking points, and more expected attacking points. It's very, very, and I wouldn't have thought that. So this is why fantasyfootballhub.co.uk is just so brilliant. If you look at that, that is per appearance of the whole of last season. When Stones plays, he looks a better option than Ruben Dias, and that is what the data is saying here. So that is a really interesting one. I'm really glad you asked that, because that was what I was thinking about. And you know what? I'm not changing my team now. I can't change my team now after a whole day. Ronaldo asks, Edison set and forget. I purposely think that you may want 3 outfield City spots later in the season. Personally, I don't think Edison, is a bad option. He may not play on the weekend because obviously he was away with Brazil and he didn't play in the Community Shield. So Stefan's a really good keeper, made a fantastic save off Vardy as well. But other than that, the only reason I wouldn't, I think Sanchez is better value, and I think that you may want your 3 spots. Let's just check Sanchez actually against Edison. This will be interesting as well. Over the whole season. So yeah, Everton, Edison, he scores what points you'd expect. He keeps more clean sheets, has more expected clean sheets. Sanchez has better bonus, so Edison barely gets any bonus. But if you look at the important thing here, the actual points per game. So Sanchez per appearance last season scored 3.67. Edison 4.39. What's that? Just over half a point for 1.5 million difference. I think your money's better off spent elsewhere personally. Let's have a look at another team, and this is at FPL Graduate. Sanchez in goals, Sufal, Simicas, Shaw and Trent. Absolutely fantastic defence. He's also got Ruben Dias on the bench as well. My goodness. Greenwood, Rafinha, Salah and Mahrez. No arguments there. Antonio Ings. And also, wow, you've got some money on the bench there. That's the only thing I would say, FPL Graduate. I can see how, because you haven't got Bruno or Mane, right, as your second premium. Danny K, just quickly, thoughts on Havertz as a long-term pick. I wouldn't yet, personally. I wouldn't yet. I would if Lukaku hadn't have signed. Kaizen just asked quickly about Lukaku. Plan to get him in. I'm probably not going to look to get Lukaku in at the moment as it stands till game week 7. If you look at Chelsea's fixtures, he's not playing this weekend. Then they play Arsenal, Liverpool, Villa, Spurs and Man City. So this is So my whole thing about getting in premiums, I always look at captaincy, right? So I'm not going to captain Lukaku in any of those games, right? And we're very likely going to want 2 out of Salah, Bruno, or Kane in that time. So that's why I'm not getting Lukaku. If Lukaku would come in a bit cheaper, maybe 10 and a half, I'd maybe try and squeeze him in. But you basically can't. It's very difficult to have 3 of Salah, Bruno, Kane, and Lukaku. So for the first 3 games. For the first 3 excluding Lukaku, I think they are better options in the short term. Game week 7 onwards, Chelsea go on a run of fixtures. Oosh, listen to this. Southampton, Brentford, Norwich, Newcastle, Burnley. That's when you want Lukaku, brother. Galaxy, the most boring question, FPL question ever asked of Galaxy, Bissouma or Brownhill. I would just go for Brownhill, just slightly more attacking threat than Bissouma being the only reason. That's the only reason. I've gone for Gilmore at a 4.5 in my team because apparently he was on a couple of set pieces and friendly the other day, but that's the only reason why. Nikan, I will promise I will have a look and get to your team. So just to rate this team, I think with this team, I like it way too much money on the bench for me. However, I love the 15 players, but as a squad structure, benching headaches, right? You're benching Tony there, second on your bench. If Tony scores a goal or 2 later at 30% ownership, you're off to a bad start and a bad headache before you even even get into the season. So I personally wouldn't do that. I would. I'm going to rate this. I think in terms of the team is good. 8 out of 10. Happy with the team myself. However, I wouldn't have that much money on my bench, so that is why I would only score it an 8. Robbie Glynn at Big Bad Wolves 37. We'll have a look at this now. Ahmed asks Alonzo versus Chilwell. Looks like Alonzo is going to play game week 1. Chilwell will likely play the remainder of the games. So I would go for Chilwell. I'd go for Alonzo for a 1 week punt if that's your thing. But Chilwell long term is the one I would go for. I thought that Sam Solar as well. I thought the previous team we looked at may have been over 100 million. Excuse me, guys. Martin says bench boost that. Absolutely, that's what I thought. Bit of a strange one there. If you look now, we've got the FPL countdown clock actually in the bottom of the corner now as well. 2 hours and 9 minutes until the deadline. Are you locked in? Let me know. Philip says Benrahma or Antonio. I prefer Antonio just because he plays further up the field. And I think I think he's a really nice price. I think that when he's fit, I think he's one of the best players in the game. Anshul, please don't spam because I'll block you. But Shaw or Stones, I'm starting with Shaw as, again, long-term option on corners as well, Anshul. Robbie Glynn, is this you now, Robbie? I think we've got you now on screen, haven't we? Let's have a quick look through this. Let's flex the old air. All right, let's give this a good rinsing. Sanchez, Simicast, Shaw, and Sufal. So first thing noticed, no Trent, but you do have a banging midfield and attack. Mane, Salah, Son, and Gundogan. Boom! What a midfield that is. Tony Ings and Antonio up front, and you've got Aiden on the bench as well with a cheap bench. So no Trent. But you're making it up. No Trent, no Bruno. I'd probably look to get in one or the other, personally. But, you do have Son, Gundogan, Mane. What a team. Hard to argue with that. I think you're brave. But, I think with all these things, as long as you understand the risks here, right? That if Bruno bangs and Mane doesn't, you're in trouble. I would personally, just the fact that you don't have Trent, I would go Mane to Bruno is what I would do there personally, because even though you've got a fantastic team, your rank will go down the toilet if Bruno bangs and Mane doesn't, which is a possibility, right? But if you're happy to chase the upside but understand the downside, then I think it's fine. Just to say to everyone, I will stay on live as long as we got watchers, as long as we have watchers. And as long as people are happy for me to go on chatting. Excuse me, I got a frog in my throat. And if we can get to 1,000 likes, which is only, 22 likes away now. It's only 22 likes away. If we can get to 1,000 likes, so if everyone could just now, everyone who hasn't liked the stream, if you can just like it, I will give away a free annual Fantasy Football Hub premium membership, which is one of the best things you will ever have. Let me just show you a couple of bits, actually. There's only 2 hours left. There's 2 hours and 6 minutes left until the deadline. Do you want to know what the best FPL managers in the world are doing for Game Week 1? Do you want to know? I'll tell you. So here we got the FPL Winners. So Michael Kuhn, the guy who won FPL, I did a video with him on this channel. One of the best videos I've ever done. Absolutely fantastic guy. Brilliant insight. His team reveal. His team is on site. fantasyfootballhub.co.uk. You need to be a member, right? You need to be a member. So do that. Get on there. Big Man Bakar, the main man, my bro. Big Man Bakar from the FPL Wire and contributor for Fantasy Football Hub. His team is on fantasyfootballhub.co.uk if you want to see Bakar's team. FPL Matthew, one of the best managers of all time. Arguably the best manager of all time. 8 top 10k finishes and 3 top 500 finishes. His team reveal is on. Rich Clark, 15 consecutive top 35k finishes. He has never finished outside the top 35k in the history of FPL. FPL General, need you say any more, right? So all these team reveals are all on the site right now. We've also got FPL Salah, 4 top 1k finishes. Abdul, again, the main man. Abdul's team is there. We also have more. FPL Heisenberg, 7 top 35k finishes. His team reveal is on there now. It's all there. Click the top link underneath, 25% off. Go on, and all these team reveals, you can read them all. You can read them all their teams, all their thoughts. Everything is there. We've also got more. Bakar's initial one, the previous one. My one is on there as well, even though I am sharing it on the stream. And Holly Shand. We also, if you haven't seen, have a free £5,000 FPL mini league. The link in the description below. Join up, fantasyfootballhub.co.uk. Get on there. This is all hub stuff, right? This is why the hub is so good. It's absolutely fantastic. These are just one thing. This is just one thing. Team reveals are just one thing. Every single week we get these minds. So we're not having the FPL winners every week, but we're having Bakars, generals, everyone's every single week on the hub. We have reached 1,000 likes. We've reached 1,000 likes. So what we're going to do then, now we've reached 1,000 likes, is I'm going to give away a premium Fantasy Football Hub membership where you will get access to all this stuff. I obviously won't be able to give you it before this stream ends, right? Because I'm here now. However, you will have it for the whole season. You can join our WhatsApp groups as well. We've got WhatsApp groups, all the best FPL managers in the world in these WhatsApp groups. I'm going to give away one now. So let's see what I can ask in terms of giving this away. So this is for the Fantasy Football Hub membership. I'm going to ask you a question. The first person to put the right answer in the chat wins the membership. And the question is, how many FPL points did Aymeric Laporte score last season? First person to answer correctly in the chat wins a premium Fantasy Football Hub membership with the best things you can ever have. Well done, Neil. Well done, Neil. I mean, you know, why wouldn't you, right? It's just it's absolutely crazy why anyone wouldn't sign up to the Hub, right? We're the best fantasy site out there by an absolute mile. The best managers, the best content, the best tools, everything on the Hub. Okay, and a Mug at 1250 Reddit returns ask, well, yeah, I've got it, right? Steve Horan, FPL Theory, good afternoon, buddy. I hope you're well. Oh, we had a winner. And you two have already won something, so you can't have it. You two have already won. Aran Shamir, you have won. You have won, Aran. So Bain and Ross Johnson, you already won the mugs. You can't have it again. So Aran Shamir, many congratulations, Aran. Drop me a DM and I will sort you out with your premium hub membership. Absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much, everyone who is joining in with this. Hopefully, if you are enjoying the stream, please press like and make sure you subscribe to the channel in the bottom right hand corner of the screen. Okay, shall we rate another FPL team? Shall we? Let's rate another team, and we'll go to Hugo Boss at Chris Hugo 29. Why is your screen so dark? I'll do this quickly because it's hurting my eyes. But you've got Sanchez, Shaw, Cancelo, Trent, Tsimikas. Fantastic. Absolutely brilliant at the back. Greenwood, Salah, Dele, Bruno. No arguments there for me. Ings and Antonio. And you've got Sufal on the bench. So what a team, right? I think this is absolutely spanking team. Very, very good. You've captained Bruno, which is interesting. High risk, high risk, high reward. But and you've gone for Dele, which I've got no argument, right? But it's hard to argue with this team. It's just slightly over budget. It must I know you got the 4.5. You've gone for Cancelo. Banging team, buddy. I'm gonna go for 9.1 out of 10. It's very hard to argue with that. Dele is a risk. I think it's a risk. Elsvino, you weren't first. I went through in the chat, and it's all there. It's all there recorded in the chat. If I have got it wrong, I will sort you out. But it's all recorded in the chat. Don't worry about that. It is all there. I've got to get that off my screen because it's hurting my eyes. Let's answer a few questions. Nikan, I'll get to you, Nikan. I can't do everyone's. Nahanla, can you rate your own team on the Rate My Team tool, Fergie? Yes, I did it earlier, actually. And the team I picked was, I think it was 92%. I think it was 92. When I asked the algorithm to sort my team out for me, it went up to 99%, which I was very, very surprised at, but very, very happy at. So yeah, I really pleased with that. If you want to get your FPL team rated for free, go to fantasyfootballhub.co.uk. Get your team rated for free. That's another benefit of going on the website. Tattoo says ditch Dele on the previous ones. Jonathan Oliver, who starts, Jota or Firmino? Your guess is as good as mine. I would guess Jota, but It's a hard one, and this is why I'm kind of avoiding both personally, because I want nailed on players in my FPL team. Alan Prester, Harrison or Smith Rowe? Good question. Both really good picks. I think I would be tempted more to go for Harrison. So both teams' fixtures don't start very well, but we know from this evening that Aubameyang and Lacazette, neither of them are going to be playing. So that puts me off Smith Rowe a little bit, because we don't even know, who they're going to play at front. Will it be Martinelli? Will it be Balogun? And we don't know. So not sure about that there. King Duplo, should I play Sancho? Well, if you've got him in your team, he's flipping expensive. If you've got him in your team, I'd play him, but I would consider starting with someone else personally, because he may play, he may not. Where there's a lot of other players, who we think will definitely play. Look at the countdown clock, 1 minute 58. Not long left now till the FPL deadline. My throat is going hoarse. I will stay online for as long as everyone wants me to stay online. But to stay online, I need some likes. I need some likes to stay online. As you can tell, my vote. I've been online now for an hour and a half, non-stop. I need some likes to stay online while I'm on. So I'm going to stay live today as long as my sanity will let me. But I need your support through likes. I will be giving away some prizes as well. So I've already given away, I think, 3 mugs and a hub membership. I'll be giving away some more as well. If we can get to 1,500 likes, I will give away another Fantasy Football Hub mug, which one of these. If you haven't liked the stream yet, please press like, and you have a great chance of winning a Fantasy Football Hub mug. If we can get to 1,500 likes, I will do that. Ahmed asks, Havertz or Mount? Good question. That is a good question. I think I just prefer. I think they're very equal. I think Havertz has more goal threat. I think Mount has better assist threat. The extra million, which is probably why I go to Mount. So Mount is 7.5, Havertz is 8.5. I think that the arrival of Lukaku will help Mount as well, actually, because I do think that he'll get on the end of Mount's free kicks and corners and bits and pieces as well. So I think I prefer Mount over Havertz personally, but it's very tight. Havertz could absolutely blossom this season. He was my tip at the start of the year before they signed Lukaku personally. Ben Ray asks, Ferran Torres. I think he's a great 1 week punt. I really do. He could even be a good 2 or 3 week punt. I don't think Jesus is going to start, so I do think that Ferran Torres is likely to start this week. He may even start next week or even the week after. I don't think Jesus is fit, so I can't argue with Torres. He was in my initial Gameweek 1 team. Torres when the game first came, I think for 7 million. If he is playing up front, I think it'd be your fantastic options. It's just it's Pepe roulette, right? Foyers asks, Fergi please, Gundogan or Greenwood? I've gone for Greenwood just because I think he's more attacking than Gundogan. I was Gundogan's biggest advocate last season. However, Greenwood he's more attacking. So Gundogan, the reason I liked him last season, he was getting in the box, he was on the penalty spot, he had loads of tap-ins, right? We haven't seen him play in that position since, even when De Bruyne was out injured. He played CDM, right? In the Champions League final, and he was okay last week attacking wise. I would say, however, that he was on, I think, most if not all set pieces, and I do think if that free kick, which Schmeichel saved, had have gone in, I think Gundogan would be in a lot more teams. So I prefer Greenwood. That's why I'm starting with Greenwood. But I'm not against Gundogan. I think all these players, are really, really good. And Nicholas, so aren't Man City players too risky? Pep loves to rotate, and that is the problem. We're always going to have. Ronaldo, why is no one talking about Martial? Good question. I don't think he's fully fit. I don't know if he's going to start on the weekend, and you've also got Cavani as well, right? So I would, a couple of seasons ago when Martial was, playing as that number 9 up front, I think Martial was a fantastic option. But nowadays, again, he's another one. I think I'd be surprised if he started most games. I think I'd be surprised if he started kind of 1 or 2 out of 5 personally. Samuel says, Willock to Newcastle official. Thank you, Samuel. Breaking news there. Willock has signed for Newcastle. Seth Blacklock must be in the Toon Army as well, says he is home. Alex asks, Ings or Calvert-Lewin? Such a tough one. I'm going for Ings just because I think Aston Villa look at the moment look a better team than Everton, and that's the only reason. And Ings may be on penalties, whereas Calvert-Lewin isn't on penalties for Everton. Mind you, we say that we don't know who is going to be on penalties for Everton, with Sigurdsson likely not available. Janan says, if Fergie's voice doesn't crack, there's going to be live coverage of the opening game. You're right, Jan. You're right. I guess it's the longest I've streamed by myself for a long time, but I'm really, really enjoying it. Thank you, Josh Brocklehurst. Really, really appreciate it. His comments kind of like that, which makes all the difference when you're feeling a bit tired and stuff. We've all had a really, really heavy pre-season. We're all fried. All our brains are completely fried. So really appreciate your comments on that. If you have any more questions, dilemmas, A's or B's, post them in the chat. I will try and get to as many as I can. Just a bit more team news for those who missed it earlier. Ziyech is out for Chelsea. Apparently, Kante has a small issue from the Super Cup as well. So he may not be fit, Kante, but Ziyech looks like he's definitely out, which is good for Havertz, I think. Because I think if Ziyech was fit, I'm not sure if Havertz may have started with Havertz playing 120 in the week. Harry Kane is fit for Spurs. Is going to be a late decision. He's back in training. And just an update on Kevin De Bruyne is that he is progressing well and is eyeing a comeback at the end of August. So that could be game week 2 or game week 3. Let's get on with rating this team. So let's have a quick look at this. At this team we've got in front of us. Wow, at first glance, this looks absolutely brilliant. Sanchez in goal, Trent, Cancelo, Tsimikas, Diaz and Shaw. Wowzers, you will not get a better defence than that. I think I know what's coming though. Salah, Mahrez and Bruno in midfield, mind. You can't argue with that either. Antonio and Ings. But herein lies the problem, is you have got zero flexibility on your bench there in Brownhill, Gilmore and Scarlett. So if one of those players doesn't play, you're not relying on you are relying on on a player or two who may not be the best there. And you got zero flexibility is the problem in any of those to make any kind of a sensible transfers. So that's the problem there. Not amazing starting 11, right? I can't fault starting 11. Absolutely brilliant. I got no arguments. If I was to pick a starting 11, it would probably be that, right? However, this game isn't just all around the starting 11. It's about longevity and sustainability in your team. So with that in mind, I'm going to rate this a 8.1 because I think you'll score well. But I think you're going to either have to take some hits or play an early wild card for that. Let's just have a quick look at a couple more predictions from the Fantasy Football Hub prediction tool, and these are predictions for the top scoring defenders. Let's have a look what this says in game week 1. The point prediction tool fancies Chelsea, right, as you would guess. Alonzo top. If you're going for a 1 week punt, I would go for Alonzo. Hey man, please don't spam or I'll block you. Please don't spam. Alonzo, 1 week punt. He's predicted to be the highest point scorer. Trent, Rudiger, and Aspilicueta, Van Dijk, Thiago Silva, Tsimikas is in there as well. That 4 million defender. So they are the highest predicted ones for game week 1. However, and this is it, right? Look at game week. Game weeks 1 to 4. This is where it gets. Excuse me, it's where it gets interesting. Hopefully the site can go because we're so busy on site. Trent, Van Dijk, interestingly, so FPL, our algorithm fancies Van Dijk to score well. Cancelo and Shaw. I've had Cancelo in my team. I've had him in my team and I haven't got him at the moment. I'll show you in a second. Smartless asks, is the membership only 20% off for this season? Yes, it is. It is, yeah. So if you sign up now in the next, we got 1 hour and 49 minutes. 1 hour and 49 minutes. And you get 25% off Fantasy Football Hub membership, and you can use all these incredible tools I'm showing you. Let's have a look at the projected top scoring forwards from game weeks 1 to 4, and this is why I'm on these pair of beasts. Ings and Antonio. So those who are asking around, Antonio versus Calvert-Lewin, I mean, there's not much in it, right? We're talking about 20 versus 19, but for value, this is why I'm on Ings and Antonio. Nitin wants to know about best 4.5 midfielders. Let's have a look at for you, Nitin. Let's have a look what this shows. So this is for what's this from? This is from game week. I think it's 1 to 4. I'll do this one for slightly longer if I can. Any second. Okay, so for game weeks 1 to 4, this is what it rates. So it does actually rate Brownhill, but again, there's not much in it, right? So if you look at the scores, it's not a lot of points. But Brownhill, according to our algorithm, is predicted to be the highest scoring 4.5 midfielder of the first 4 game weeks. Let's just do the first 8 game weeks, which is probably how long you're going to want there for. And this is why I have Gilmer in my team. Actually, I'm just going to do from 1 to 6. Because I got a feeling I may wildcard, but this is why I've gone for Gilmore, is because he is predicted to be the best 4.5 for the first 6 games. Brownhill, then Basuma, then Romeo, then MacArthur, then Allen. So that is why I am going for those. Okay, let's have a look at another team. Kerry, I did yours yesterday, so I'm not going to do yours. Let's have a look at Jess O'Loughlin. So I think that Jess was in the chat earlier, actually. So if you're still here, Jess, give us a wave, and I'll rate your team now once I've had a quick sip. Okay, Sanchez in goals, Tsimikas, Shaw, Trent, and Veltman. Wonderful back four. Bruno, Salah, Rafinha, Son. Wow, what a midfield. And Antonio and Ings. So you've got the 2 4.5s, and you've got Ayling. I tell you what, Jess O'Loughlin, this is a banging team. Oh, very, very hard. Very hard to argue. Very similar to mine, even though you've got Son, and I have Tony, and Greenwood. But so hard to argue. Aman, I will have a look at the best 4 million defenders now, buddy. I'm guessing it'd be Tsimikas to start off with, but I will have a look now. Wow, what a team. Jess O'Loughlin, I'm going to rate this do you know what? It's banging. Absolutely superb team. 9.2. 9.2. I think this is a brilliant team. It's so rounded. And you've got a bit of money on the bench as well. It's hard to argue. The only difference with my team, so the only reason I'm not going for Son is because basically when you go for Son, you've got to go for I was talking about this on this channel with the green arrow. If you go Son, you very, very likely got to go for 4.5. So effectively you're spending 14.5 million on Son, right? Because the 4.5 is basically useless. Whereas when you spend the 14.5 on someone like Greenwood and Harvey Barnes, for example, you've got, you get the 2 players. Jibbin, I'll have a look now. I'm just going to have one check for the guys who are asking about the best 4 million defenders. I would guess it would be so for game week 1 is Tsimikas, and if we look, and this is why this algorithm is so absolutely brilliant, right? So Tsimikas only projected to play the first 3 games. You can see that on screen. So if we go for the first 3 games, Tsimikas is top by a mile. So projected to score 13.5 points. The next is Amati at 7.8, and then Mankia with 2.6. So other than those 2, absolutely nothing, right? So Tsimikas is the man. However, if you're looking, till game week 6, for example, it shows Amati because the algorithm is clever enough to predict that Tsimikas is not going to play from game week 4 onwards. And this is why this tool is the best around. This is why fantasyfootballhub.co.uk is the best fantasy football website you can get, and the best membership you can get. Is absolutely fantastic. So we had Jess's team up. Let's go down a little bit. Let's see if there's anyone who's in the chat. Please stop me. Anyone who's in the chat. Let's have a look at this team, Erlo, actually, because got a couple of different sorts of players. This is interesting. This is interesting in terms of let me hide the chat on screen. I think it's getting on some people's nerves. I'll hide it for a bit. Okay, so Martinez and Sanchez. So I'm not massively interested in personally in spending, what is it, 10 million on keepers. I personally wouldn't. I go for one or the other, right? Maguire, Creswell, Christensen. I think that Christensen at 5 million. If he's a regular starter, he could be fantastic value. If I knew that he was going to start, he would likely be in my team, right? Trent and Walker Peters. Not that keen on Walker Peters at 5 million. I think at 5 million I'd prefer Soufal or even Bertrand. A bit of a risk at Leicester. I wish I had the ball. I say I had the balls. I wish I had the budget to go for Bertrand at Leicester, because I think he could be a bit of a superstar there. Greenwood, Harrison, Barnes, Fernandes, and Willock at front. No Mohamed Salah. Very, very interesting, but a different looking team. Willock at 6. I'm not a massive fan of Willock just because he plays for Newcastle. Antonio, Ings, and Wood then at front. Superb rounded team. I think it's a bit too rounded is the problem, right? You've spent your money all over the bench. So if you were if you were using your bench boost on game week 1, wouldn't have any argument on this, whatsoever. However, I think that you're going to have benching headaches all the time, right? You're going to have benching headaches basically, every single week, and you don't have Salah, which is brave. So I'm going to rate this. I like your player picks. Apart from, I'm not a massive fan of Walker Peters or Willock, but I would go for 8.1. I think I'm being generous there. Let me know if you think I'm being generous. We're nearly up to 1,400 likes. If we can get up to 1,500 likes, I will give away another Fantasy Football Hub mug. I'll give away one of these bad boys. If you're not a member of fantasyfootballhub.co.uk, 25% off just for another, an hour and 42 minutes. That's all that's left until the FPL deadline, and that is the last chance that you can get 25% off the Hub membership. Only £18 if you join before 6:30. Apparently Samuel says Willock can't play in game week 1, which is interesting. That is an interesting point. He must have signed a bit too late for that, because he's not playing against Newcastle. They're playing Brentford, aren't they? Jason King, I believe, may have been in the chat. Is this you, Jason? If it is, let's have a little look. Sanchez, Trent, Simicast, Shaw, and White. Don't get the White love, but a 4.5 okay's all right. Son, Salah, Bruno, and Buendia. Lovely midfield there. Antonio and Wilson. Can't argue with any of those. I think that is a fantastic looking team. Brownhill, Ayling, and Parikh. You've even got a little bit of budget there on the bench in Ayling as well. Not a big fan of White personally. However, as a team as a whole, I think it's very, very good, and you haven't got any arguments from me there. Bobby says Tony. Yeah, I've got Tony. And Justin, okay, you do not have to have Salah. Okay, Justin, that is fair, right? I didn't have Salah in game 1 last season, and I was squandering around 4.5 million rank after game week 4. You don't have to have Salah. That is right, but you're just opening yourself up massive risk if you don't own Salah. If he scores a couple of goals and your captain doesn't, you are banging trouble for months, because you're going to have to try and get green arrows every single week while not having Salah for game week 2 either, right, where he's home to Burnley. Choose your battles, right? That's my advice. Matthias, can you please rate my team? Love from Australia. Matthias, if I get to it, I will, I promise. But, as you can imagine, I'm getting lots and lots of individual requests. But I will get down as soon as I can and pick a few teams there. Let me know where you're from in the world. Absolutely, love to know where you're all from. Really interested if you're from around the world. I love the fact that we have such a global audience. I think it's absolutely fantastic. We're only 100 likes away from giving away another mug. Amit Darid, 0 out of 10, harsh. Let's have a look if we can find any of those that are in the chat. Please stop me and let me know if you are in the chat. I'm going to do No, I'm not, because that's an absolutely brilliant team. I'm trying to look for a bit of a different team. Take the FPL, excuse me, one sec all. Josh, you've been on all week, Josh Strings. I bet you missed this now because you're not in the chat. But Josh has been on at me all week. Matthew Blake is from South Africa. Sarab from India. FPL Heaney, Dublin. Hi there, FPL Heaney. Gary, Florida. Sajid, South Africa. Lots of South Africans. Pakistan. Ali. Flynn from Tasmania. Oh my goodness. Alistair, Stradmunnock, Wales. I'm about 10 miles from you, buddy. Kaletgo, Botswana. Josh, he is on. Josh is on. He's on the chat. I'm here, Josh. It's up, finally. In the final one, I can't believe it. Palzu is from Norway. Shui is from Myanmar. Wow, all the way from Myanmar. And Douglas, Uganda. Thank you so much for letting me know all this. I find it absolutely incredible that I'm sat in my attic at home in sleepy area of South Wales. I'm speaking to everyone from all over the world. I think it's absolutely amazing. Midu from Egypt, Ahmed from Bosnia, Mr. Nonic from Croatia, and Nathan from Malta, and Theo from Botswana, Rashish from Nepal, Oliver from Leeds. Hello there, Oliver. Goran from Serbia, Peru, Bangladesh, Singapore, Malaysia, Sweden. Stop it, guys! You're hurting. It's so fantastic. My goodness. Binod from Canada, Belgium, Tuvalu in Hackett. Are you joking there? I think you watch it a bit too much. What's that program with Tuvalu? Pointless. Is it Pointless? They have Tuvalu. It's something like that. Nihal from USA, Norway. Brilliant. Right, Josh. Let me rate your team before we do another geography lesson. Sanchez, Trent, Shaw, Samikas, Cancelo. Oh my goodness, what a defense! Bruno, Salah, Greenwood, and Barnes. You basically got the team I want, Josh. I think you've got the team I want. I've gone for Tony over these players. I must be mad. Antonio and Ings, Veltman, Gilmore, and Davis. Oh my goodness, what a team! That is absolutely flying. So let me just explain to you why I've got a couple of different players. So in place of your Cancelo, Barnes, and Davis, I have got Aylin, Rafinha, and Tony. And the only reason why, if I was going a bit more short term, I would go with this team without a doubt. I would go with this team 100% in the short term. I'm trying to think a bit longer term with Leeds. That's the only thing. So Leeds from game week 5. Their fixture turn amazing, so I'm trying to get ahead of them early. That's the only reason. But this game week 1 team is one of the best I've seen. You cannot argue with it. I think it's absolutely fantastic. And I'm going to give it a 9.7 out of 10, which I think is the highest ranking I've given all the way through. The only reason why I'm not giving it a 10 is because I think just a little bit more kind of longer term thing, right? So I'd probably go maybe Veltman to Aylin, potentially as a 10, but I think it's absolutely brilliant team. Can't argue whatsoever. Osvard is from Essex, Kikito from Bhutan, Roman from Thailand. Ross Johnson said that's nearly a 10. Absolutely, I agree. 9.7. It's the closest I've had. The Goat is from the North Pole. Good evening, the Goat. 1 hour 36 until the deadline. FPL deadline. How are you all doing? Hoping that everyone has got their teams sorted. If you haven't got your team sorted, and you're still looking for divine intervention, if you're still looking for something, if you're still looking for a bit of that, that advice, right? Which an advice off a person or people who who's the people you really look for. How about some of the best FPL players in the world, right? Why don't you ask the current FPL winner, Michael Kuhn, who he's picking in his team? Or why don't you ask someone like, Big Man Bakar, the main man, the legend Bakar, or FPL Matthew, arguably the best FPL manager in the world, or maybe Rich Clark, who's had 15 consecutive top 35k finishes, or you could ask the general, or you could ask FPL Heisenberg, you could ask FPL Salah, or you could indeed ask myself, which you are asking, in all fairness, or Holly Shan. They're all there. Fansfootballhub.co.uk. the place to be. 25% discount. Top links in the description below. You've only got 1 hour and 34 minutes left to get that discount. Get on there. You may as well. Let's do a play. I tell you what. Let's have a quick look at some Opta stats if we can. Let's have a look at who had the highest. Well, it's set there. So the highest XA there. We're nearly up to 1,500 likes. Nearly. As soon as we get up to 1,500 likes, I'll give away a mug. And I'm gonna ask a question in relation to these Herb Opta stats. But let's have a look in terms of teams. So this is interesting. Let's have a look who had the lowest expected goals conceded by teams, and this is why everyone is high on Brighton, right? Because you look at the expected goals conceded. Man City and Chelsea, but look at Brighton. They had the third in the whole league. So this is from game week 1 to game week 38. And maybe I've overlooked this. Maybe this is why people are going for Ben White as well, right? Because they had the 4th best defense for expected goals conceded in the whole league last season. So maybe this is why. Maybe I've overlooked White. Maybe I haven't looked enough into these stats, right? But look at that for Arsenal. If you look down the bottom, Leeds, third worst overall over the whole season. However, you can go, right? So let's have a look just for the second half of the season and look how much Leeds would surely have improved. And there they are. They have improved now, Leeds. There, but it's Arsenal, the one that Arsenal surprises me there. The one that surprises me was XG for the whole season in terms of teams, right? And if we look at XG, look who's there. So Man City and Liverpool, you can guess. Look at Chelsea's XG, 71.5. This is why Lukaku, Havertz, and all this are so interesting because their XG is higher. Look at Spurs. So Chelsea's XG 11 goals higher than Spurs. They kind of should have had last season, more than Leeds, more than Villa, Leicester, even more than Man United. Chelsea's XG is high. This is why I think Lukaku, when he comes in from game week 7, is going to be really, really good. And in the second half of the season, so let's just have a look from roughly when Tuchel took over. So I think it was game week 22. Excuse me. If you look from game week 22 onwards, Chelsea had the 2nd highest XG in the whole league. This is what the Fantasy Football Hub Opta stats gives you. It gives you insight like this, and it gives you every single game week pulled directly from Opta. Hub membership, 25% off. You've only got an hour and a half left. You get the Opta stats. You get the team reveals. You get our prediction tools. You get our fixture ticker. You get the comparison tool. Absolutely ridiculous. Let's do another team. I may have to refresh actually because I've had so many. We've had so many more teams enter since. Tell you what I'll do. I'll refresh it so it's fair if it lets me. Let's refresh it so we can see some new ones. Right, I'll scroll down a little bit so we can get some newer teams. Kieran Davis has been in the chat a lot. Let's have a look. Just before we do this, let's have a quick look in the chat. Robin F, Fergi, love and support from Norway. Thank you so much, Robin. If I can, I'll get your team, I promise. But like I say, I'm trying to get through it, and be as fair as I can. High Giant says Pepe or Greenwood. Interesting one here. So I'm sure that Pepe. Let's check the comparison tool. I'm sure that Pepe towards the end of last season. So it'll be interesting. I'm sure he had very good stats at the end of last season. Now, I do think that Pepe is a really good option. Excuse me. So let's look for the final quarter of the season. Yeah. So if you look at that, excuse me. Actually, Greenwood does outstat him, right? He does outstat him. However, look at Pepe. He did have a good period in that time there. So yeah, I think. This is for games started. I thought that was a bit odd. Per appearance. Yeah, so per appearance, Mason Greenwood still does, outstat Pepe there during that period there. Okay, let's have a look then at this team. Let's rate this team. Sanchez, Trent, Tsimikas and Shaw, Benrahma, Salah, Greenwood and Fernandes. My goodness, what a team. Antonio Ings and Calvert-Lewin. You've got me all hot and bothered here with this team. Kieran, if you're still in the chat, it'd be great to know if you are still in the chat. Kieran, this is absolutely fantastic team. I really, really like it. The fact that you've got everything, you seem to have everything covered. Every single thing covered. I think this is absolutely brilliant. Can anyone see anything wrong with this team? So you've got Salah and Bruno. So you've got your way to a premium. You've got a fantastic defence. You've got White, so you've got some budget there on the bench. Wow, this is a superb team, absolutely brilliant team. Wow, I find it hard to rate this anything under. I got one thing. I found one thing, and the only one tiny thing is you've got a double up for Villa, which I'm not that bothered. For West Ham, which I'm not that massively bothered for. However, I can understand it, and it's hard to argue with it. So I would I'm gonna give it a 9.5. I think it's absolutely brilliant team, absolutely superb. People are saying no Son and Nagashi is DCL ready. Absolutely is. He is ready. If we can just get 38 more likes, guys, I can give away another mug. I can give away another Fantasy Football Hub mug if we can just get to 1,500 likes. If you haven't pressed like, please press like. I'll ask an FPL question. You'll get a mug. It's only another hour and 27 until the FPL deadline. NYY Scal asks Son or Mahrez for game week 1. Whoosh. Son for me. If you're looking for game week 1 only, potentially Mahrez, but over 5 or 6 game weeks, I think you've got to go for Son. I just think he's guaranteed to play every single game. I think he's a fantastic option. Just for those who haven't seen it, just going to show everyone my current draft of how it looks at the moment. So I've got Sanchez, Trent, Shaw and Tsimikas, Rafinha, Greenwood, Fernandes and Salah, Tony Ings and Antonio, Sufal and Alien. I quite like to look at a couple of teams that I've seen elsewhere. In all honesty, I think they look absolutely brilliant. I think I prefer a couple of the other teams I've seen, but I'm happy to have Tony. I'm really looking forward to watching the match tonight. How good is it to actually watch Premier League football? It seems like so long with crowds. Well, it has been long. The last one. So we're up to 1,500 likes, and I tell you the question I'm going to ask because I think I know this off the top of my head. And it's just to do with what I was talking about. So I'm going to give away this final mug. This is the final prize I'm going to give away. And this is I want 2 team names. 2 team names. And I think I know this, off the top of my head. So the first person to write the 2 team names in the chat next to each other, they can't be separate, right? They've got to be next to each other. The first person to put the 2 team names in the chat will win a mug. And the question is, what was the fixture? Who were the 2 teams who played? Which was played the last Premier League game that was played in front of a full crowd just before COVID hit in England, and all the games were canned. What was the last game to have a full capacity crowd in the Premier League? Because I remember the game. And one of the players who we've talked about a lot scored a couple of goals as well. Kazim, hello there. Kazim, Mahrez and Digne or Son and Aylin. I personally, Kazim, I go for Son and Aylin. I just think Son is better long term than Mahrez, and Aylin is better long term than Digne. Personally, I'm thinking longer term. If you're just looking for game week 1, Smartless has won. He's first in the chat. Villa Leicester, I believe it was. I can't remember if it was 4-1 or 4-0. But Harvey Barnes scored a couple of goals and Vardy did as well. So Smartless, drop me a DM. Very, very well played, sir or miss, obviously. And yeah, that was the last game. I remember it was on a Monday night, and Harvey Barnes scored. I think he scored a couple of goals, and Jamie Vardy might have scored the other two as well. And then we had the news then. It's so mad to think, watching that brilliant Monday night game, because it was a brilliant game of football. Leicester were fantastic. That would be the last game that we would watch with full capacity for, more than 18 months. Absolutely crazy. Right, guys, I'm only going to stay online for a few more minutes because I am absolutely whacked, and I've still got to go away and sort off some of my teams. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm gonna have a look at one more team. I'm gonna rate one more team. Let's have a look if I can go and find someone who I know is currently in the chat. Jibin Joseph. Jibin, so you've been nagging me. Jibin, I hope you're still here. I hope you're still here because you've been nagging me all the way through. And at first look, I do like your team as well, but we will have a look at that now. Excuse me. Sanchez in goal, Trent, Shaw, Tsimikas, and Amati. Amati may be good for game week 1, but he won't be after that. But you do have White on the bench, which is okay. The only issue I can see there in your defence, Jibin, is after game week 3. You will only have Trent, Shaw, and White who are playing because likely Amate and Tsimikas likely may not play after game week 3. Mahrez, Salah, and Bruno in midfield. I haven't got any argue with that. Captain on Salah, absolutely fantastic. Tony, Antonio, and Ings up front. Dallas on the bench, well, a bit of cash on the bench. I like this, but that's the only issue there. Is that the only issue I've got there, as I say, is your defence. You've got the you've got the two 4 million players there, which means you will only have 3 available from game week 3 onwards. So if you get any kind of injury or anything like that, it's not on the screen. It's not on the bloody screen. Apologies, guys. See, I told I should be going. I didn't even have the team on the screen, and I'm talking about it. So this is Chip in Joseph's team. Trent, Shaw, Tsimikas, Amati, Mahrez, Salah, Bruno, Tony, Antonio, and Ings. White, Dallas, and Brownhill. Very good team. I would say give it an 8. I think in all fairness, I think the quality of the vast majority of the teams that I've seen have been absolutely brilliant. Right, I think they've been superb. Only 1 hour and 22 left until the deadline. I hope all your teams are nearly sorted. One last push for the hub. If you're still unsure on what to do, you can go on fantasyfootballhub.co.uk. There's still an hour left. You can read all these team reveals from all the very best fantasy players in the world. Big Man Bakar, Michael Kuhn, the FPL winner, FPL Matthew, Rich Clark, FPL General, FPL Salah, FPL Heisenberg. They're all there, right? They're all there. Do it. I implore you to do it. Why wouldn't you do it? Nikan. You've bloody forced me, haven't you? Now, if I can find it, I can do one more for Nikan because he has been on all stream. If I can find it, but there's so many on you. This is the problem, right? This is the problem. Is there's so many to find. And I bet you I can't. I bet you it's under a different name or something now, isn't it? I'm going to struggle to find it. Nikan, I can't. I can't. I'm afraid. I tell you what, Nikan, DM me your team, right? And I'll only do one. I'll do Nikan's team. DM me your team, and I will sort you out, buddy. All right. Okay, so this looks like that it is me for this season. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed this stream. I hope you enjoyed all the streams that I've done, and I will be back next week. So I'm going to do a few more ad hoc streams. Just have a chat with everyone, right? Just answer questions, have discussions. Who are we looking at? Who are we not looking at? Etc. I'm going to do it, 3 or 4 times a week off this channel. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. If you haven't pressed like yet and you did enjoy the stream, please press like. We'd really, I'd really love it if you could like the stream. If you've enjoyed it, obviously, the very, very best of luck for game week 1. We're on TikTok, on Twitter, on Instagram, we're on everything at FFH_HQ. Our website, I hope we've done enough to sell you say the hub, right? It's the best fantasy football website. You can get the insight, the tools, the team reveals, the stats, the comparisons, everything. If you sign up now, just before the deadline, it's £18. That's £18 for the whole year. Absolutely bargain if you do it before the deadline. I implore you to do it. Everything under one roof. To join the tens of thousands of other fantasy managers and sign up to the hub, click the top link. You won't regret it. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me. I've really enjoyed the last week or two chatting with you all. Really, appreciate everyone sticking with me. I'm sorry I can't get to everyone's teams. Obviously I can't, right? There's thousands and thousands of people in the chat that has been in and out. Thank you, Rops912. Subscribe to the channel and the hub. Thank you so much. And this is I would say honestly, right? So I joined the hub at the start just as a paying member, right? Because I looked and I thought, my goodness, the players we've got here are absolutely crazy, right? They're ridiculous. And I joined as a paying member, and I started working with the hub then. But for what you get for Fantasy Football Hub membership is just, it blows everyone out of the water 10 times over, and it's only getting bigger, only getting better, right? So and thank you so much this week as well for helping us get over 50,000 subscribers on YouTube as well, right? And this has really implored me to do more, right? So this is why I'm going to go live next week and just have a chat with everyone who fancies having a chat about FPL. Let's have a look what's going on. Any questions, any kind of A's or B's, any decisions, what's going on. We'll just have a chat. So I'll likely be back early next week. I wish you all an amazing game week 1. Have a brilliant weekend. No matter what happens to the FPL team, don't worry about it. If you go for Jota over Greenwood and Greenwood bangs, don't worry about it. You can't get every 50-50 right? It really doesn't matter. Just enjoy it. And I will speak to you all soon. Goodbye for now.